Hello everyone, I'm BatPan, a bat who drives PanMobile. In this series, we cover the functions I needed for my game and the way I got them to work. And in this video, we will create an interaction system that I personally used in my own game. We will cover examples as well in this video and fix a couple of bugs that you might encounter when creating the function. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, a like would be amazing, and you can subscribe to see more contents like this. So without wasting time, let's start the video. So what we need for the function is actually a text file, a subtext, and an interaction text. I added this model. It has an idle animation. First, I'm going to create the subtext and interaction text. So I'm going to add on this plus. I'm going to create an empty file. I'm going to name it subtext. Be careful, set all the transforms to 0, 0, 0 so it doesn't introduce any bugs. Then right click on your subtext. I'm going to add a canvas. You can set the canvas settings like me. You would make it scale with the screen size. You give your resolution. Mine is 1920 by 1080. Make it 0.5. Then you go to the canvas, create a legacy UI text. I'm going to name it subtext. I'm going to make it bigger and I'm going to make it yellowish. I can, make it bigger on both sides. I put it down. I make it, center to down. You click on here. You press Alt and you press this one. It anchors here. And I can write this amount. Then I can right click on the canvas, create another UI legacy text. This time I'm gonna make it green. Again, I'm gonna make it 25, make it bold. And as you guys see, this is here. You can make this one bigger as well. Let me change the skybox so you guys can actually see it better. And we can add the subtext is here. We can make it bigger, make it 35. So we did the text part. The next part is actually giving object we want to interact with a collider. So we can, get its tag. In this case, we're going to talk with him. You click on your object, click on this add component. In this case, I'm going to add a box collider. You can add a capsule collider. It doesn't matter. I'm going to add a box collider. It is like this. You can change the values from here. You can change the size, place the center of it. You can do it this way. Add the collider on the object itself, or you can add the other way of doing it is you can right click on it and add a 3D cube. If you want to add a cube collider, then you can make the cube the same size as this. Press T. You can just move it this way. You can press T, or you can click on here. You can do it your way. You have both ways of doing it, so you can choose whatever you want. So I'm gonna go with the cube, with the cube collider, with this one. So now, and I'm gonna delete the box collider on the object itself. This is actually what we are interacting with, and not the this one. So I'm gonna call it interact cube. And we can, deactivate the mesh render so we don't see the cube. We need to create a tag for this person. To create a tag, we go here, we select the object we want to interact with. In this case, we have the interact cube. This is our actual collider. We go on the tag, we click on the tag, and we go to add tag. Click on this plus. I'm gonna name it manic. This part is important. It is not set yet. You just created it. You have to go to your interact cube and again click on this tag and select the manic tag. So we interacted with manic and nothing else. So this was actually creating the object we want to interact with. Now we have to create the code. Where do we want to interact from? We want to interact from our camera. We're looking this way and we want to interact from our cameras. We need to add the script to our cameras. I'm going to create a folder first. I'm going to call it interact. Then I'm going to create a C# script. I'm going to call it interact camera. Before doing that, I'm going to select my camera. I'm going to give the script to it. Then I double click on my script to open it up. So I'm going to zoom so you guys can actually see it. We're going to use a text file in this code. So we first going to let the code know what a text file actually is. To use that, we're going to say using Unity engine.ui, which will let us, ask for a text file. I'm going to create a section for text where we, ask for text files. So I'm going to create a public text. I'm going to call it subtext. Then I'm going to create a public text. I'm going to call it interact text. For better understanding, this is subtext and this is interact text. This was the text file we needed. We need a float for interact distance. We can give it any value we want. I'm going to, for example, give it 10. The F is for the float. You can write it or not. If you make it decimal, if you add the point here, you gotta place the F. I'm gonna just make it 10. Next thing I'm gonna add, I personally add this to my game because I wanna check if I can actually, interact with stuff or not. To do that, I'm gonna create a boolean can interact. Make it equal to true at the start so we can actually interact. We go to void update. First of all, I'm gonna say if I can actually interact or not. So I'm gonna say if can interact is equal to true. So if I can actually interact with the object, I go inside here and interact. To create the interact function, we're gonna say create a array file. I'm gonna name it array1, for example. I'm gonna make it equal to a new array which starts from the transform.position of our camera. Transform.position is the position of our camera, and it's gonna move transform.forward. And the array is gonna be shooted the way we're looking at. Then I'm gonna create a raycast hit. It is a raycast hit. I'm gonna call it hit1, and we're gonna use it to check if we have hit an object or not. We create this. Then under here we're gonna say if physics the raycast, it needs array and a raycast hit. So for the array, we're gonna give it array1. The array won't be created up there, comma. Then we say out hit1. We give it the hit1 value. Then we give it the interact distance, the distance we created. It shoots the array forward with the value of 10, and if it interacted with anything, it goes inside this. If the hit1, the thing we hit, that collider, go to its collider, then go to its compare tag. It checks for a tag. You put it between these two, and the tag we created was manic. Be careful about the capital and small version of it. So if hit1.collider.compare tag hit an object with the tag of manic, then we go inside here, then we make our interact text equal to talk to him. So if we actually hit the mannequin, it says if we want to talk to him or not. So let's go and check this out. For the first person controller, it needs a subtext and an interact text. We can give it by dragging and dropping it, or you can click on here. Let's empty the values at the start. So as you guys see, it says talk to him, but when I look away, it doesn't change. So we know that it actually works, but we want to, make the script talk to him disappear when we look somewhere else. So to create that, so when the code is actually easy to check if it actually hit manic or it hit anything else. Under here, when we say if physics.raycast hit something, we're just gonna say else. When you put the else, it means it didn't return a value, it didn't hit anything. When it didn't hit anything, we're just gonna say interact text, that text is equal to empty. MTR interact text. As you can see, when I look down, we actually see the text doesn't disappear. It's because it is actually colliding with the ground, and the ground actually has a collider, so it is not gonna, make it empty. Fixing this one is actually easy as well. What you gotta do is, this time you're gonna inside here, if it hit the mannequin, just under here, you're gonna say else. And add the interact text and make it empty. It is actually very easy. So in here, if we hit a mannequin, we're just gonna say talk to him. If we hit another thing and it's not the mannequin, we just make it empty. This is for when we don't hit anything. So when we don't hit anything, is actually we make it empty again. I'm just gonna write it for you guys so you guys know. Don't hit anything. This is for when we don't hit anything, and this is for when we hit something other than the things said above. If you want to add another thing to check if we've hit that one as well, we're just gonna say else if hit1.collider.compare tag, and we're gonna add that tag, for example, a cube, if we have interacted with a cube. So when you collide with the cube, it's gonna say this. When you collide with the mannequin, it's gonna say this. And when you interact with something that is not a cube and a mannequin, it's gonna make the interact text empty. And when you don't actually hit anything, it's gonna again make it empty. So we don't need the cube here. Let's go and check it out. So as you guys see, I look at him, I look above. We actually don't hit anything, so it's gonna be empty. I look at him, and I look at the ground. As you guys see, it disappears. It's because we hit the ground, and the ground is actually not one of the things said above. It's not a mannequin. It turns out interact text equal to empty. To actually create a function for talking to him, we go inside here. When we actually hit the mannequin, under here, we're gonna check, for example, if we have pressed E or press the left mouse key. So in here, I'm gonna say if input.get key down. I'm gonna say keycode.e. So for example, if I press E, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the subtext text equal to we talked with the medic. This is actually the easy way. I'm gonna give you more examples. When it's on him, it says talk to him. When we look down, it disappears. We look anywhere else, it disappears. We go on here and press E. It says we talked with the manic. What we want to actually do is when it says we talk with the manic, we don't want to be able to interact with anything anymore until the we talk with the manic disappears. So we're just gonna say can interact is equal to false. When the can interact is equal to false, we won't do anything above. So we're just gonna say we talk with the manic, and we won't be able to say anything above. Just make this talk it above, then make the can interact equal to false. It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do it this way, and I say this. As you can see, it introduced the bug because we don't come inside this code to check if we have, if we hit nothing or hit, if we hit something other than the manic. We're just gonna, to make this disappear, we're just gonna say interact text.text is equal to empty. So I interact with him, as you guys see. It is written down and I can no longer interact with it again. This was actually the function, but what if you want to, actually talk with the mannequin? So to do that, I'm gonna close the update. I'm gonna go down from the update. Right here, I'm gonna create an enumerator and I'm gonna say talk with manic. This is the example. You know what, I'm gonna write it one by one, letter by letter. So if you want to understand this function, I've told you guys how you can type letter by letter in this video. The video you can watch right here on top of your screen right now, or you can click a link in the description under here. You guys don't have to do this part. This is what I'm gonna do for the example. I'm actually gonna create an example part, but it's gonna make your text more beautiful. So I'm gonna create a string. I'm gonna call it holder, which is gonna hold our sentence, so we can write it one by one. I'm gonna say subtext.text is equal to we said. So what are we saying? We're gonna say hello, Mr. So then we're just gonna say for each character C in a holder, just gonna say subtext.text plus equal C, then we yield return new, wait for seconds, wait for 0.5f seconds. If you don't understand this, you can watch that video. It is just gonna take every character and type it one by one. Then I'm gonna create another enumerator for when it asks us to click the left mouse to continue talking. So I'm just gonna say enumerator mouse press CO, which stands for coroutine. So under here I'm just gonna say while input that get mouse button down. So when I press the left mouse, we can actually continue. So to actually call this, we're just gonna say yield return mouse press coroutine. So this is it. This is my way of doing it. You can do it whatever you want. So it's gonna wait until we press the left mouse, then it's gonna continue the talking. So under here, after we said this, we can just copy and paste it down here, so we don't it is actually easier. So when we say hello, Mr., the manic is gonna actually answer. It's gonna say hello, sir. It's just talking and talking. So I'm gonna make it two more. I'm gonna give it two more sentences. This for when we actually say, "Are you okay?" And he says, "I'm perfect." So this is it. This is actually gonna work. But before that, we're just gonna go here. We go inside the update. When we change stuff in here, after make the can interact equal to false, we're just gonna call our enumerator. So we say start pull routine, talk with manic. This is a simple interact system. When I press E on him, we can actually talk with him. He says hello, Mr. When I press left mouse, it's gonna continue. The manic says hello, sir. We say, "Are you okay?" He says, "I'm perfect." So this was actually a quick example of that, so you guys can understand it and actually use it in your game. I'm gonna explain it again so you guys can actually understand it even better. We first check if we can actually interact or not. So we say if can interact is equal to true. So if we can actually interact, we go down here, we create array and we create array cast hit. Then under here, we shoot the array and we then check if it hit something. If it actually did hit something, we go inside here and then the thing it hit is called hit one. The array cast we hit. So when we hit one, then we go and check if the hit one has the tag of the manic. The tag we gave it up here. This is the tag. We gave it the tag of manic. You can add any amount of tag you want. You can just press on this plus and you can add your given tag. But be careful when you create a tag. It doesn't mean it is attached to that game object. You're just gonna have to again go to that game object and give it the tag manually. So this is the tag. If we have the tag of manic, then we go inside and we actually say talk to him. If we hit something else, it makes the interact text empty, or we don't hit anything, then it's gonna again make the interact text empty. This is a very simple way of doing it. I did it very more complicated in my own game, and if we are looking at it and we press E, then we go in here, we make the can interact equal to false, and we make the interact text equal to empty for a bug you saw before, and you start your coroutine. And when you start your coroutine, the coroutine is actually this. It's gonna talk, and it's just the function you create for it. And at the end, I'm just gonna say subtext.text equal to empty. I'm going to just make the subtext empty. Then I'm going to say can interact equal to true. You can talk with it again. So this was it. I'm just going to show you the end result here. So if I talk with him, it says hello, Mr. Hello, sir. Are you okay? I'm perfect. And I press left mouse, it resets and I can talk to him again for any amount of time I want. So this was a very simple interacting system I created and I used in my own game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I tried to explain it as simple as I could. If you did, a like and a subscribe would make me happy. Comment any questions you have. I would be happy to answer them. I'm gonna go do something for the end of the video as I did in all my videos. Okay, this is what I created for the end of the video with the things shown in the video. I hope you like it. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video.